Sunspot 3777. Told you to watch. You kicked out an X flare. Which will only enhance this kind of activity. Remember I was telling you small creeks in your backyard, remove all the stuff and get ready. Remember I told you, hey, I'd get out of there, I'd evacuate. Yeah. These floating bridges, house bridges and stuff, man, washing away. All right, howdy folks, welcome back. I told you I would be back. And here we are. Okay, while this is loading up, August 8th, 2024, I'll let that loop kind of get going there. All right, and while that's loading up, take a moment to thank you guys for taking a moment of your precious time to be here with this precious family, okay? Time is valuable now, so your time is precious, and when you spend it here with me, well, you're doing yourself a favor as well, too, okay? And you'll understand how precious this family is if you stick around till the end. All right, let's get started here again. August 8th, 2024. There's our loop playing. Some crazy little things going on right over here. We're going to go through this a little bit frame by frame. You can see some other stuff, popping out here and there, up here. Okay, but I kind of want to look at this little event down here. Okay. So, first off, let's scooch this down, catch the opening frame. Thank you guys for your patience and being here. I was trying to go just a tad bit earlier, but Lord's got other plans, man. Always seems to be right around this time anyway, so. All right, here's our activity underway right here, okay? There's some kind of object right here, all right? And then whatever kind of plasma, little weird tail coming off of it. All right, there's Tina P. Now, as we continue, boom, you can see it pretty clear there. Don't need to really zoom in on that one because it's pulling out a frame. But you can make it out pretty clear right there, okay? In fact, let's just do that for that. Come on now, Brian. No, cheat him out of the good shot right there. Looks like it almost has like a little ring around it too. All right, but clearly there's your object. You can see the plasma streaming back behind it that it's pulling with it. Okay. Now let's zoom back out. So you can see there's an object there inducing this CME. Okay. Now, another thing, whoops, I want to point out here at this event, it's a little bit strange, is look at the angle of the flow. Usually stuff coming out of this quadrant is going straight down, or, see the flow coming out of this thing is hooking a left and going not against the grain, but across it. See how it bends right here and then goes this way? So this thing came out, hooked, and went this way. Or that's what kind of looking like. I'll let you be the judge of that too, but let's kind of back up a little bit. Okay, so there it is right there. Kind of little weird faces in there too. You got to come over and check it out. Right there. As we can continue here. Look how that stream is still cutting across all the flow. Okay, it should be going down this way. This is a stripe going diagonal across our flow for quite a while there. Now look at this. Comes another object right here, I think. No, well, there's something dark down here, right where the blue line's going across the middle of it, right here. That's our other object, but there's something else going on right here, but here it comes. Boom. Again, with this flow going across right here still. Something right in here sneaking through there, right there. Let's darken that a little bit here. Please, Lord. There we go. Yeah, there's something right in here. You can see a small thing right there, but then as we continue, you can see our flow is still bent. Coming out, bending along that way. I'm going to put that back into motion. Does it look good when it's kind of darkened like that right there? It looks better on my camera here at least. So hopefully we can catch that event right there. See how that flow is being bent and pulled over to the side? All right. Also, somebody was mentioning Phoenix Rising. I caught the Phoenix Rising over my house. I posted it in the community. We will go to that towards the end of the show in Spiritual Report. So, yeah, the Phoenix, I caught the Phoenix Rising in the clouds, all lit up by the sunset. Beautiful images. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But meanwhile, we got that activity, and then whatever else is going on up here. This thing coming out right there. Let it kind of go like that for a second. Tilt your head to the left about 45 degrees, and you can see this right there. All right, how do we capture that thing? Wow. Well, I'm just going to kind of let it play. Let's slide right there. Yeah, it looks like we got a couple of discs or something. Right. That one, and then the second one. Almost three of them. There's one right there, one there, and then I don't know. I'll let you be the judge. You guys should come over here to this instrument and play around with it. Do some zooming in. Mess with your lighting a little bit because sometimes things are. Well, we're looking at objects that are absorb light. Okay, and they're hard to see. They're hard to capture. So sometimes a little bit of change of lighting and stuff really makes them pop some more. Okay, so there's that. Let me scooch it just a tad bit and get that out of there. No. Come back. All right, there's your activity right there. Catch this opening frame. Go through every frame. All right, good enough. Let's come on over here to Solar Ham now. Get this pulled up here. First off, everybody take a deep breath, especially me. Okay, I'm going to scroll up. Our solar flux index is 336. Last night was the first I've ever seen it over 300, and it was 303. We're up 33 more points to 336. This is unprecedented. Very, very concerning. Also, our sunspot number, 337, we're up 89 sunspots. Let me pull it just center that a little bit better. There we go. Okay. 337. We're over 300 sunspots, you guys. I didn't think we'd ever see that either. So our solar flux index is well over 300. Our sunspot number count is the same, well over 300. We're up 33, up 89, up 505. This is over 3,000. The sun is on fire today. Literally. Okay, so as we kind of take a peek here real quick before I zoom into this, let's just see our geomagnetic forecast, because this is what's concerning me. G2 for the next 3 days. We got M flares coming these days, and then the next flare to back it up with this. So that is going to be concerning. We all know the side effects of what happens there. And if you don't understand, well, stick around and we'll explain it to you. There is your GOES X-ray flux up close and personal. Okay, you can see our event today, this long duration right here, X flare, reached X flare. Okay, and that came out of I think 3777. So, but as you can see, these long duration ones keep kind of bringing our flux higher and higher and higher. Okay, and now our indices are going along with, and our solar flux indices 336 and 337 sunspots. That's just nuts. All right, let me just slide back over there. Okay, so as you can see, not a happy sun, and it kicked out an X flare. All right, let me zoom back out now and get back to the rest of the page. Okay, X flare right there, a 1.3 out of AR 3777, the 3 sevens. Jackpot, a couple days ago, when we were talking about this sunspot region, when it started to go beta, gamma, delta, I said, watch out for that one because of the numbers on it. All right. Not necessarily God numbered this, but man numbers it. And he likes to use man's numbers as indicators. And guess what? The 3 and the 3 sevens pumped out a 1.3. Okay, and that was out of region. And then look, 3777 also had the M5, the M2.1, okay, and then the other one, 3774, pumped out the M4. Okay, we had radio blackout here, and a radio blackout there. All right, so we are very, very active, yeah. Sheila knew the chap and watched her for a while, was lucky and saw the flares. Oh, good. Thank you for participating in the chat. Feel free to chat in the family. All right, so let's get back to business here. Aurora is really low right now. Okay, that's good. Our KP is just about 2, a little bit over 2, which is fine, but it's a little unsettled. We got 3 waves of CMEs coming at us again. Remember, just not too long ago, we had 3 waves of CMEs coming at us. Here we go again. Actually, last time it was like 5 waves. So let's kick this off. All of our sunspots, the ones I'm concerned about, 3780. Everybody's really concerned about that one because it's big and ugly looking. Okay, and it's still growing. Okay, so we got to watch that one closely. This is the one I was saying watch out for, and that's the one that kicked out the X flare today. Both are beta gamma delta and growing. All right, also 81 beta gamma delta and growing. Here's 3774 that kicked out the other X flare, M flare, beta gamma delta, but declining. We have 4 beta gamma deltas on there. I haven't seen that in a long time either. I was saying the other night there was 4, but there was only 3. Well, tonight, here we go with 4 of them, okay? Let me see. What is it? See? Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. Now, let me get back to this here. The X 1.3, August 9th, 2024, Coronagraph imagery. Let me just put it right there. Okay. Following the X 1.3 solar flare around AR 3777 is finally available. The event was associated with the asymmetric halo CME that appears to have Earth-directed component. The main bulk of plasma looks to be heading south of the Sun-Earth line, and however, a shock passage past Earth will still be possible within 48 to 72 hours. So it's heading south, but it still will be possible to get something. All right, with at least 2 other eruptions expected to pass Earth over the next few days, so 2 others plus this one in the next few days, this could prolong or intensify the moderate G2 storming already in the forecast. It could prolong or intensify. G2 could be G3, and it could be prolonged. Okay. Let's do a little crack-a-lacking in between articles this time. That one's just kind of moving too fast for the moment, but we'll pop this one open. There's an impact right there. Let's pull over. Okay, here's the north-south. You see it kind of heading just south. The main bubble of it is, but part of that energy is going to clip us. Okay, thankfully, most of it, the main part, heading south. That's on this one. Now let's go over to the Noah spiral here. Please, Lord, can we have that one? Oh, good. All right, let me load that one up real quick. Ding, 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 and go. All right, here we go. 1, 2. So at least they're showing 2 on that one right there. Okay, there's supposedly 3. But we're going to come back here. All right. I'm going to take control here. I'm going to put it right here is 1. Boom. and then a second impact right there. Okay, so right here, well, actually, right here is the 10th, and then on the 11th. So both of those days, we're going to add geomagnetic enhancement to our weather forecast. Okay, so keep that in the back of your mind. All right, so there's that. Now let's back out of this. Okay, now the X 1.3 solar flare was detected around AR 37.7, a type 2 radio emissions with an estimated velocity of 1,026 kilometers per second was recorded. Coronal dimming is already evident, meaning a coronal mass ejection is likely. Yeah, well, I'll pop up their little movie too. Why not? Let's go full screen too. Even blitzed out the camera a little bit there. See all the speckling in the... Boom. Oh, what? Wait, come back here. I want that last part right. Come back a little bit. We were missing some of that data there. I didn't get to see this part right here. Look at this. See, that's 23, 24. Our thing ended at 20 something. We were missing some data. Look at this big old stream of plasma going towards that. Let me just... Yeah, there was some... Oh, there it is. You can see this round object right here. Let me see if I can get just a tad bit further back. Because this is data that wasn't on our stream right there. So right here, one more. Our object is right here. Okay, and the next frame, or this next little frame here, if I can capture it right there. Boom. There it is, right there. The very backside of our object right here, going out of frame. But look at all this that it's pulling off of it. August 8th, 2148. Okay, that was some data that wasn't on our other instrument. I'm glad I took a peek at that. Hey, pays to sometimes. All right. While solar flare is currently in progress at the time of this writing, okay, that was yesterday. Let's get on over to the spaceweather.com. There's your little solar flare. We're going to read this article. Now, a series of 3 CMEs is now heading for Earth. 3 CMEs. The first of 2, launched by the M-class flares on August 7th, are relatively minor. The third, launched by yesterday's X-flare, is more potent, striking Earth in succession on the 9th, 10th, and 11th. The 3 CMEs could spark geomagnetic storms as strong as Category 3, with mid-latitude auroras in the U.S. and Europe. X-class solar flare and halo CME, active sunspot region 3777, just produced its most powerful solar flare yet, an X 1.3 class explosion on August 8th. NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory recorded the extreme ultraviolet flash. and even glitched out their camera for a minute. Radiation, oops, sorry about that. Radiation from the flare ionized the top of Earth's atmosphere and caused shortwave radio blackouts in North America. I pulled up the D layer map, but I was too late. The data already got kicked off. So, meanwhile, it hit North America, Hawaii, and ham operators noticed loss of signal. Yes, of course they did. Of greater interest is the coronal mass ejection. Soon after the flare, SOHO coronagraphs detected a halo CME heading straight for Earth. There it is. Poof. All right, what else we got here? The CME is moving faster than 1,000 kilometers per second. 1,000 kilometers in 1 second. That's 2.2 million miles per hour. That's pretty fast. And it will likely arrive no later than August 11th, adding its effect to the two earlier CMEs already en route. The impact could push geomagnetic storm levels to category G3 with mid-latitude auroras. Okay. We covered all that. Let's show you your Schumann and get a little waviness out of there, Tibbet. Okay. Yeah. No wonder why I felt like I felt today. My. All right. Now, enough with the wavy lines. Just leave me alone. Okay, so as you can see here, here's our day. Very roller coaster ridey. Impulse, nothing. Impulse, nothing. Impulse, nothing. Impulse, just very, boom, nothing, boom, nothing, boom. Very roller coaster ride, up and down, up and down, up and down. And there was a pretty intense little session right there. That almost looks like one of our objects interfering. It's so blatantly just all of a sudden intense and then all of a sudden gone. There's no tapering up to it. You see all these other ones, how they're scratchy. It tapers off here over the course of the whole thing. It actually kind of starts right here and then grows in intensity, where this one is just all of a sudden bam, all right, and then all of a sudden off, bam. So this is probably some object interfering, especially with that line going right down the middle of it right there. It's like the very middle of the object or something. So what we're looking at here, the core spins inside the planet, okay, inside the shell, and that rotation causes our electromagnetic field that protects us from the solar radiation. Okay, that electric humming, like a high voltage wire, hums at a certain frequency. All hums at 7.83, and so does everything else on this planet, all the animals and all the creatures and everything. So we like to see a nice, even green, solid line going across there. Any interruptions like this cause effects to you, and they're also indications of pressure building up down below and then being released, building up, being released, building up, being released, building up, being released. So it's just this intense frequency and then normal, intense and normal. It's kind of like, well, imagine if you were in the car and you're got a badass sound system with 50 watts per channel, 250 watts per channel, and you got a bunch of 50-inch woofers in there, and your kid takes the volume and goes all the way full blast and then all the way down, all the way full blast, all the way down while you're trying to drive on the freeway. Yeah, you're trying to focus on your day, and all of this craziness is going on in the background. The roller coaster ride? Oh, do I have to tell them about the roller coaster? Let me put that in the notes. We'll get to this roller coaster ride thing here in a second. After the report, I gotta. You really want me to tell about this? Hang on, I'll write it down. Where's the pen? Anything? Anything? Hang on just 1 second. I got so much going on. Oh, that's the right pen. Great. All right. Anyways, we'll talk about the roller coaster ride. If I forget, somebody remind me. It's kind of important too. So, anyways, this is going on in the background. This intense frequency, and these are all frequencies. It's going all. It's hitting all the way down to here. The intensity is in these up in these lower frequencies here, but it's still hitting down here. See what I'm saying? So it's hitting all these frequencies. These ones really hard, and 7.83 cuts across there, right? So your 7.83 is getting intense, weak, intenser, normal, intenser, normal, intense, normal, really intense, normal. So it's just this up and down roller coaster ride of emotions. This affects your emotions going on in the background while you're watching the news, while you're taking in all this information and stimuli. This is going on in the background, and this is why it's important to have a good spiritual base too, because this affects other people, and they will change, and they will come at you in a different way, and you're going to go, whoa, what happened? Why is this person acting that way? And you don't know it, they don't know it, but we're in the middle of a blast, and all of a sudden it'll make sense. When it's over, they kind of come out of their senses, come back to their senses and stuff. Same with you. This can cause irritation. Let me just quickly explain. They forgot to, Russian cosmonauts did not have the 7.83 in their capsule. They either didn't put it in there, forgot to put it in there, didn't think they needed it, whatever. The cosmonauts lost their minds, went violent, and killed each other in the capsule because there was no 7.83. When we have a smooth green line, you are calm and peaceful. When this is going on in the background, your life is jumbled and you're trying to recover during the day. That's why we work on our salvage work at the end here. Okay. Whew. I get all that out. Okay. Whew. And when I tell you about this roller coaster ride, this vision that was given to me, very nasty vision too, but you'll kind of see what I mean about this roller coaster ride effect going on in your background while you're just trying to go about your day. And indication of pressure. This one right here with this intense, look, there's blank line right in front of it, and then very intense, and then just stops. That's an object that interacted, its magnetic field interacted with ours. Okay, that's a different type of reading. These are our normal readings where we see grinding. Okay, this could cause grinding as well, but that almost looks like it charged our ionosphere. What happens is this electricity, propagates out of the ground, goes out into space, but it hits our ionosphere, which is an electrically charged shell, the magnetic field, and it bounces back down and creates echoes. And this instrument picks up the echoes bouncing back down from the ionosphere. So when the grinding goes on, it'll make harmonic noises that bounce off the ionosphere, and the sound appears to be coming from the sky, but it's actually coming from the ground. And your sky quakes, where people feel the ground rumbling and hear blasts from the sky, it's because of this. Okay, your skyquake mystery is solved. No longer a mystery. Anyways, up and down. Even though we've seen worse roller coasters, that was a pretty good roller coaster ride today. Okay. Lord, you're gonna give me a heart attack. All right, let's get over here to the weather. We still have this thing just positioned there. Okay, it hasn't really moved too much. It's just been kind of chilling there. Meanwhile, you see this storm has pulled apart now and is coming up through here. It's going to do the slam dance. It's going to mosh on New York here now. And we already saw the flooding yesterday in the subways. Wait until this thing hits. They are in deep doo-doo. I bet you tomorrow's headlines will be New York in chaos or something. Okay, and New Jersey, that whole region. We'll get into that here in a little bit. Meanwhile, let's take a peek around. Southern Hemisphere, you're not allowed to see that. You're going to have to come over and watch it yourself. No, I'll show you later. Now I want to get to the sand. Boom. Okay. As you can see, huge, very intense right here. It's like another fist forming, ready to shoot another wave of sand across there. So this sand right here disrupting our current or hurricane genesis. Okay, you need thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms, tall thunderheads, and the sand cuts down on thunderhead productivity and the convection. So it also hampers, thus hampering the hurricane genesis, the growth of hurricanes in this region. Okay. But there's not much sand in this region, so any kind of impulse that makes it through here gets cut off of sand, can grow in strength from here to there. All right. So we still have this little capability. It's right in that region, though. It's no longer hurricanes being born out here right now, thanks to the sand. Who said it? What, 4 times? Help me, Lord. Help me. All right. Here we are over in Saudi Arabia. Very intense sandstorm there. The southern fetch coming up from the southern hemisphere is going into the northern hemisphere, and that loop action is actually pulling sand now off of the Horn of Africa here too. See how it's whipping and pulling all that sand plus this, combining it together, throwing it at India. So India, that whole region, you can see right where the ridge of the Himalayas is. Right there, because that sand's not making it over the Himalayas. But everything under it is just getting pummeled. Okay. That's right. Everything's according to his will. You're going to find out more about his will here soon. Meanwhile, up here, Gobi Desert, it's still there. It kind of mellowed in intensity, but it's still there. Okay, sandstorm productivity, thankfully, has kept this country still in one piece, because we would have had 10 to 15 hurricanes by now. And you see what Little Debbie did? All the damage it's doing. It's not even a category 1 or 2 or 3. We'll get to that other part here in just a second. Now, let me wipe the wind off there. And now we're going to come over to the SO2. This is sulfur dioxide. This is the gas that surrounds the magma down below. Okay. The magma produces this gas as well. All right. Now, we got a little different flow pattern going on. Here's our country divided. You can see it's bleeding out to the east side, all kind of volcanic perforations in the crust to the west. And let me turn on the fires now, and we'll do a fire report as well. Thank you. Because this SO2 being around the magma is so hot that when this gas comes out of the ground, it'll spontaneously combust vegetation in the surrounding the emission site, causing wildfires. Okay. Your fires up here are being sparked from underground from SO2 emissions. Okay. They're so hot. There might even be methane coming out too. And methane is a flammable gas. And methane, being a flammable gas that's at 2,000 degrees, it actually comes out of the ground on fire already. I said it comes out of the ground on fire already. Methane is a gas that is flammable, and it comes out of the ground on fire already. And SO2, very hot as well, creating fires. Okay. This fire activity was very concentrated up in Canada. It still is now, but it's been creeping further and further south. And now we got it going on up here in Washington. Okay, here, some of these volcanic sites. This one, Mount Rainier, had one for a while, but some of these volcanic sites are starting to have emissions and fires at these sites. Okay. Ow. You obviously don't want me talking about that. Anyways, this fire right here in Northern California started because of SO2 plume. Okay. Oh, some dude drove a car down into the ravine and set it on fire. Yeah. Anyways, it's spreading further and further south. Okay. And it was starting to creep east. You can see down here in Arizona, this spot has a fire at it. Okay. I want to come back over here because we're starting to see our little north or east-west line. We're starting to see some fire activity creep to the east side, and that seems to have diminished, especially this one here at Louisiana. There was a fire right there at that site, and it's gone now, so it looks like they're kind of getting a handle on it. But what I'm kind of hinting at is all these sites right here don't have fires at them yet, but any site could have the potential. See what I'm saying? And it's creeping further south, and it's starting to creep east. And east, there are more perforations. Can you see that? But this is like soggier ground too. It's also doesn't have all the volcanic perforations, like little pinholes in the cushion. No, yeah, this never makes it to the mainstream media. In fact, a couple of years back, there were like 4 little dots like this. These are huge. All right, I'm talking little dots like this one, and these little things right here. 4 little emissions down the Sierras. I think it was like BP Earthwatch or somebody picked it out and saw it, and man, the whole internet community thought slammed on the brakes. This is a big one, big deal, and then everybody forgot about it and it moved on. We have more than 4 dots now, folks. Okay, we have way more than 4 dots, and we have them sparking fires. Okay, they want you to think do weapons are doing it. That's fine. They okay with you thinking that, because they want you to know it's coming from underground. There's nothing you can do about it except move away from the area. Now, as you see, South America is enjoying this problem as well. Okay, we're going to take the fires off here, though, because this region, a lot of these people aren't as advanced as we are in the Western world, and they still cook with campfires and use fire for heating and lighting. So it would, some of these readings would be some of their campfires. So we're taking them off. Sorry, I had some moth guts or something on the screen there. All right, meanwhile, back at our fulcrum point here. All right. Main emission site, very strong, well-defined. The other one's pretty dark today, too. So we're about our regular pressure, okay, that we're used to seeing. Really strong SO2 emissions down through here, wind catching it, blowing it off the coast. This relieves pressure in this area, keeping the magnitude down on the quakes in this region. Okay, that's a little benefit of this, is it relieves pressure and keeps magnitudes down. Okay, got some friends that live here. I'll make sure there's still SO2 emissions coming out of here, which is fine. Okay, as long as it's not building up pressure and having a volcanic explosion here at Oahu. All right, meanwhile, over at Hawaii, where there is a volcano, it's better to have your volcanic explosion over here because it's less populated. It's on the far side of the island. It wouldn't hurt as many people as it would on that island. Okay, and we got somebody lives in the crater there too, so doing fine at Hawaii, looking good. Now, let's come on over here, and we have to adjust to their time. Okay, and as you can see, China is got some problems. They got some issues. A lot of SO2 coming out of their ground, sparking fires over there as well. Okay, they probably won't tell you about it, but it is. Meanwhile, here we are at Taiwan. This is our fulcrum point area for the quake plate boundary, and we see a lot of energy being relieved at this site, and it hasn't had a quake in a while. So we're seeing SO2 emissions here, and we're also seeing heat plumes build up there, and we will get to that here in just a second once we're done with the SO2. Meanwhile, this pressure, these perforations and pressure has moved up into this region up here and down into the Korean Peninsula. Okay, look at this, down in the Korean Peninsula now. All right, North and South Korea. Here's Japan, all their SO2 emissions. Something else I want to point out. where our quake was, right here, there's no SO2 emissions right here. Not relieving pressure right there. Get it? There's no SO2 emission site, and it's not relieving pressure. That's why we had a good quake right there. Another reason why. Okay? Because this seems to be locked up. It would usually snap here. Also, we got strong emissions coming out of the north part of the Philippines here. Watch out there. Here's where we had our big quake and our weak spot right off of this island right here, and it's having SO2 emissions as well. Then we come over here to Java, okay, the purple island of Java, and it's doing its job. We got some pretty strong emissions up at this point, Semeru and Krakatoa, all right, and then some other emission sites, Merapi, all these little volcanic islands and stuff too. Okay, so it's a relief valve as well, doing its job, emitting a bunch of SO2. We've seen this spot here at the tip of Malaysia and Sumatra fill in. All right, down here at Australia, they're not immune to this problem. They got, parts all around the, the outside of here's the outback, and then here's the inback. So, along the exterior of the interior, they're having their issues. Tasmania, not free of this issue as well. And for all you elites who thought you were going to go hide in New Zealand, wrong choice. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. You cannot hide. So, SO2 emissions coming out of all the places around the world. Oh, other spot I want to point out right here. This little island right here, this little boat-shaped looking island, has 2 emission sites, okay? And they're just puffing right along. They don't do a bunch of stuff, but 2 of them, and they relieve pressure as it comes into the plate boundary system right here. Here's Fiji, where all our deep quakes are, and it's starting to emit SO2 now, okay? This wasn't doing that, a couple months back, and for like maybe 2 weeks now, we're starting to see SO2 come out of Fiji as well. Okay, so deep quakes, and then energy wants to come into the system. This little island relieves some of the pressure, cutting down on magnitudes when they come into the system, and also cutting down on quake activity as well. This island, you see all the SO2 emissions and like volcanic activity going on it. Okay, so when we get to the earthquake report, sometimes there's no quake activity on this island because it's having SO2 emissions. You guys get all that? Okay, good. Over here at Saudi Arabia, they got their issues as well. India, boom, boom, boom. All of Europe looks like it got shot with a shotgun, a side of beef that got hit with a shotgun blast. Just pepper with all these little individual sites. Bing, 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 all over the place. Okay. And they're probably going to experience, just out of curiosity. Nah, I can't tell there. I want to see this region. Yeah, see, they're not having any fire issues yet. That's that one. Nope, I wouldn't count that one. Okay, so take it off. Look at this, though. You want to see something scary? That right there is a lot of fires. But people here, they're in winter time, okay, so they might be using fire for heating and stuff like that. But you see the yellow ones? Those ones we can count. All right, let's take the fires off now. All right, so a lot of SO2 pushing, coming up through the perforations because of pressure down below and indication of pressure. So now we're going to do the water anomalies. This is a very disturbing part. So everybody take a nice deep breath. Hold it for a few seconds and then exhale nice and slow. All right, rub your eye gently and get the stuff out of your eye. Take another long, deep breath in. Let's do right now. Okay, so as we just kind of scroll on in here, here is our activity in the Atlantic. We still got this little guy right here blowing down a tube or playing a horn or something. I've seen this entity in the clouds before too. It's weird that it's on the anyways, this area right here has kind of grown in intensity as well. It's spreading out and it's turning yellow. So it's starting to connect up with this other plume over here. And pretty soon this is going to be one big, huge yellow area. All right. Yellow. Here, let me just real quick because I see a few different faces. Here's the legend. Red being cooler of the hot side. Orange, red, orange, yellow, and then white hot. Okay, so your darker reds are cooler of the hot. Yellow being hotter, white being the hottest. Okay, so as we're looking around, you see these huge plumes. This is all volcanic activity on the ocean floor, and we're also having heat buildup along the coast here as well. And this whole region is starting to heat up in here. Okay. Also, off the coast over here, you can see this big old plume that's right here. Something happened here. That's interesting. What the heck? A cold spot right there, or a cooler spot right there. But anyways, this plume is growing in size and in strength. We're starting to get yellow to white in here a little bit. We're going to get it. Try to get it just right here. This dang technology can take a picture, but it can't take a picture of a screen on a screen with a screen and another screen. Oh, cool. Cool. All right, there we go. That's a little bit better. It's starting to get a little white in the center there. Kind of like this is getting white in the center too. That's Tamumasi. A lot of either hot water, magma, all kinds of stuff coming out of the bottom of the ocean right there on the ocean floor. Okay, we got volcanic activity all over the planet. All right, so 2/3 of the planet is the ocean floor. We're gonna have a lot of activity down there. Sorry, I'm just these wavy lines just mess with me forever. All right, good enough. So over here we have huge heat plumes too off of Japan. All right, right where they had the quake. You see how it's all yellow in this area? A lot of pressure, a lot of heat. Right here, not so much. We just had the earthquake there. Now, over here at Java, look how yellow's starting to surround the island a little bit. We did have a good-sized quake here a while back, and the yellow disappeared, and we had cold water inundation up in this region, but that has since receded, and now the heat plumes are back around Taiwan here because it hasn't had a good quake in a while. And then also down here, let me pull back a little bit, the North Island of the Philippines there doing its thing as well. Now let's bring you on down here. You can see Java. I was showing you emissions, a lot of SO2 emissions. It relieves a lot of pressure. And we see cold water inundation in this region because pressure is being relieved. Okay, but not out here. We're having plumes that are growing out here, right in that region. And then let's just show you the massacre at the top of the world. Okay, this is where some of the coldest water in the world is, and it's on fire, heating up. The water up here is hotter than the water down here. See that? Because we got emission sites on the ocean floor. Also, we're having pressure building up under the ground right here, and then you can see it bleeding out from the coastline going out into here too. So there's probably some kind of other structure to this under the ground right here continuing on. You see what I'm saying? Same here with Hudson Bay. You see how it kind of comes right out and up into this. There's probably some other more of this under the ground here. All right, now the dangerous part about this is when we put the winds on. Real quick, top of the world, okay, North Pole, heat signatures at the North Pole, through the ice, through up here, Siberia. Whoa, where are you going? Off the northern coast of Siberia, hot water, okay? Not good. Now, everybody take a deep breath. We're going to put the wind on because the wind patterns are now conforming to our heat signatures. And let's kind of let that sit there for a minute so you can see our wind patterns are following heat plumes, cold plumes, okay? Hot water rises, cold water rushes in to replace it. At the surface, the hot water heats the air more, so that hot air rises. Other places have cool water, cool air sinks, right? It wants to rush in and replace the hot air. That causes vorticity, rotation, okay? And these heat plumes are causing our weather patterns now. Our weather patterns aren't being controlled by the jet stream anymore. They're being controlled by these conveyor belt type structures, okay? These conveyor belt type structures that you see going on here, boom, 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 storms will kind of ride this. But then, as they get to the west coast, I want you to follow the flow pattern. Oh, we're starting to see a little break off and it come in now. It was this solid wall of wind that just went down and turned and came out. These little plumes right here are starting to draw stuff in a little bit. Look how it's getting drawn right in through the Bay Area too. Going up the valley, down the valley, and around the Sierra. What the heck? What? How crazy is that pattern? Just hugging the contour of the valley. You know, the California Valley right there and all the mountains that surround it. You could see the wind coming through the front door here at the Bay Area and then going up to Northern Cal. It's taking right, going down to Southern Cal. What a trip. All right, well, now we're starting to see a little onshore flow. It used to be this just giant wall where nothing was coming at the West Coast. And we were enjoying some good weather here, and still are. All right, so now out here at Tamumasi, you see this vortex rotating here. All right, we also have this rotation over here getting very, very serious off the coast of Japan here. We have cold water next to hot water. See your vortex? Placed right in the middle. This is cold air above this cold water. This is hot air above the hot water. This air rises. This air rushes in to replace it, causing rotation. Okay, and this could cause a standing storm that would just sit right there too. All right, now for the disturbing part. Everybody, hold your breath. Let's come on over here to the Atlantic. All right, here's your conveyor belt structure over here. Now, luckily, we have our sand plume that's coming off here, killing any kind of hurricane development or any kind of hurricane genesis in that region. It can still form from like the barrier islands here on in, but so far, so good. We have our one. We'll have to deal with it, okay? But you see our flow pattern, this big conveyor belt structure here. Let me pull down just a tad bit. All right. And what at this point, we are lucky we don't have 8 to 10 evenly spaced hurricanes already going all the way around this, just one after another. You know, boom, 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 boom. This place would get hit with one and then move out as another one and then another one and then another one. So we could have this conveyor belt with evenly spaced hurricanes if it weren't for those sandstorms. Thankfully for those sandstorms disrupting convection. All right. That's a saving grace, or we would have been in, we probably be finished by now. But this is only, the first week or so of August. We still got 3/4 of August to go, all of September, and heating from the sun during the summer months and in October. So this is going to continue to grow in intensity, all right? And it can become so intense that it overrides the sand eventually. I pray that doesn't happen. Thankfully, that's not the case right now. And let's just pray that this sandstorm continues to disrupt most of this activity, okay? Also, if you pay attention, you've been listening to Mike from COT or Mike from around the world. Either way, you know him. He's trying to let you know the best he can, what they'll allow him to say. And he's been hinting towards the hypercane, okay? And what the hypercane would induce would be once this area gets all one unified hotspot, you're going to see a conveyor belt structure that gets very intense. Okay, it'll get very organized, well-defined. It'll pull in a lot of cold water and it'll just start going crazy. And this will be the one big hurricane. The conveyor belt structure will be the eye wall. The middle would be the eye, and then this would be all eye wall, moving at 200 to 300 mile an hour straight line winds that would just strip everything right down to the dirt. They'd take the pavement right off the ground and everything. Okay, so we're lucky we're still being protected by the sandstorm. All right, we'll continue to monitor this. This is a very, very delicate balance, very delicate situation we got going here. And every time a new heat plume opens up, it changes the structure of this thing. All right, so it wobbles and it changes and stuff, but overall in all, it still has this conveyor belt type structure right there. Okay. You can see that a lot of this is going to be coming at England and Ireland in that region. Okay, we have a wow, look at this, starting to go right here, and then heat plumes up to the north have caused a vortex over the North Pole. All right, this is not your polar vortex. This is not wintertime. This is a heat-induced vortex that for a while was sucking storms up from Alaska. It was taking, it still is, taking some of this energy off the top of these storms and going right up into Alaska, right across it and up into there. And you see all this heat and all this warm water, warm flow heading at Alaska. Well, no wonder why their dam melted and broke. Right? You're going to see more of those kind of water events, a lot of melting up here, glacial melting. And when a glacier melts or, you get a big rush of water, any dams that are further downstream will burst. Okay, so just because you had a rush of water up here, you better check to make sure if you live downstream from a dam or not, because a big surge of water from a ice collapse or a sudden ice melt will cause a flash flood. Okay, and that's what we saw up in Juneau, Alaska. And we're going to see a lot more of that. Mike explained that too as well. You guys should listen to him. He knows I know him well. He knows what he's talking about. He's trying to do the best he can with what they'll allow him to say. And pretty soon he's going to cut loose. So, and he's telling you the same stuff I am. He's kind of hinting at this stuff. Okay. So there is your conveyor belt structure right now. And let's just pray that our sandstorms continue. Okay, let's continue on now to our earthquake report. We had that 7.1 over in Japan last night. And right after my first stream, it happened. And I came back on, did a quick stream, and we covered this a lot last night. But we'll go over it again here in a second after we start our regular quake report with new current activity. Okay, deep quake region, 4.4 down at 607. Our normal magnitude 4.5, mid-range 4. So that's normal activity that we're used to seeing. Usually brings 5 energy to the surface. Let's check this one. There's your mid-range 4 down at 503. Okay, so we had 2 mid-range 4s. Usually bring like 5 energy to the surface. Here we are over here, just recent. 5 down at 28. Okay, so there's that. Dang thing. Somebody got a like voodoo doll and they're stabbing me with needles or something, man. Oh, it feels like it. I get the sharp pains just out of nowhere, like someone's got a voodoo doll at me and they're stabbing me. All right, 4.8 here at 10, right on the plate boundary right there. More energy at the surface being released. We saw a lot of SO2 emissions coming out of this island, but finally a quake here. It's another mid-range 4 down at 35 because it's on land. This little area known for deep quakes. Not too deep today, a 4.3 down at 147, and that is not on a plate boundary. You see this little chain, let me just kind of go like the little chain of islands right here, all volcanic islands formed because of the plate boundary. Okay, you see these underwater seamounts. Boom, those are water volcanoes that just have made to the surface. And kind of on the flank of these seamounts here is our quake, the 4.3, and it's down at 147. If it were at the surface, you'd, it'd be a plate boundary quake or something. All right, they converge right here, weak spot. We see volcanoes along this area doing a lot of the venting, all right, of pressure along this region. So earthquake activity through that plate boundary, pretty quiet, as well as out here by Java. Every once in a while, we'll see one out here. But right now, nothing so far. Very quiet through that region. Okay, we're going to cover everything else, and then we'll come to that. Okay, because we'll spend time on that. No fulcrum point. You come over here. Now, this region right here, plate boundary quake, but it's just off the plate. This little weak spot right here has had some quake issues before. About a year ago, there was some 4.5. There's some activity here. That's 4.5 down to 44. This plate is moving, okay? Pressure's coming up under this plate, and it won't break right at the plate boundary, so it's hitting the foothill area, the other weak spot. I bet you this is all locked up because it pushes this way. It doesn't slide left or right. It pushes that way and pushes Himalayan mountains up. This is pushing back the other way, too. So we don't see many ruptures right along the plate boundary. They always hit kind of in the weak zone of the foothill. There's a 3.6 at the surface there. Coming over here, Iran, Saudi Arabia. No, 4.2 and more Iran. Okay. And then very quiet through that region. Mount Etna got 3 vents on it going at the same time, so it's relieving a lot of pressure in Italy right now. We got Reykjanes going, or volcanoes there and earthquakes. Really quick here, fulcrum point, 3.9 down at 59, 4.9 down at 43. What do we do with 4.9s here? And then over here we go 4.4 to depth of 10. Okay, now let's start getting into Japan here. Take that down. Okay, our big quake is off the map now. These were the other 2 quakes that had happened last night as aftershocks. The 4.8, 4.8 at 38 and a 4.6 here down at 42. Okay, and that was it. We had a huge quake swarm over in California from a magnitude 5. Yet here we have a 7 and just a couple of quakes, right? A couple of aftershocks. So these are aftershocks, where over there, that's a quake swarm. Big difference, okay? I think you guys agree. Now, our latest quake, a new one that has happened since our big quake, is a 5.4 here in the same region down at 10. All right, so this little area got hit with a small tsunami, was like 2 or 3 feet or whatever, and now inland, pushing inland. We got pressure pushing inland. Is this a man-made lake or what? Oh, it's not even a lake. What the heck is that? All right. It's like one big solar panel. No, something else. But just off of here, no real volcanic feature or anything to sit, nearby. So this pressure that causes a earthquake, pushing inland a little bit, and not a very not too bad. Mid-range 5 right there, relieving more energy from this region. Okay. Now up across on this other peninsula plate, see this plate right here comes down and goes back up. It's shaped like a finger. It's like a peninsula. This one also comes up, goes back down. It's like two fingers touching, two peninsulas coming together with the plate boundary in between the two right here, just offshore of a huge city. Tokyo, with a big old volcano right next to a three-way fracture point. Whoops. Three-way fracture point, Mount Fuji. Okay, so very, very dangerous spot. And finally, up on this plate now, this is a different plate. This whole fingertip right there is a 5.2 down at 186. This is some kind of, all right, we have this island right here, which is a volcanic island. It grew from the ocean floor. You're looking at all of that down to here is kind of the footprint of this island. And right in this little weak zone, you can almost see like a little V-type structure right here under the water. New little spot right there to watch. 5.2, huh? 186. Yeah, this is a spot to watch here. This is almost one of your diverse quakes. Almost. But we're talking this weird shaped peninsula now, so you can't do it there. It's not on a plate boundary. It's well, it's a volcanic feature. It's that's earthquake activity at a volcanic site. Indication of pressure down below. Okay, let's get into America. All right. Out here at our volcanic islands, we're actually seeing some mid-range 4 activity. That's pretty good at Rat Island. 4.5, huh? A lot of microquaking along these ones right here. We got a 3.5 there, 2.7 there. I love to check this spot right here. 2.4, and then 3, 2.4. 2.2. Our latest activity, that one right there, 1.3. Okay, another fulcrum point quake up here, 3.0. Just kind of real quick, I know I do this too much, but here, let's just do it real quick. There are multiple fulcrum points here, okay? You can see the one in the ocean floor, okay? Then there's the plate boundary one that goes up, the red line. Then there's the bay itself. Then there's the mountains behind the bay that come down, another mountain range back behind them, another mountain range back behind them, and another one way up here. There's multiple ones that have pushed forward. It's almost like a shovel with snow, and you push forward like this. So you had a big finger and you pushed a bunch of clay or something like that forward. It would ripple and would fold up like that, and those are all multiple fulcrum points. Coming back down. All right, nothing. We need more activity in the Juan de Fuca. I know everybody's scared to have quakes out in this region, but we need to have some kind of mid-range 4, mid-range 5 type activity out there because this continues and continues and continues. Let me take the wind off. We will see this cold water will finally get squeezed out of the way. Okay, it'll get pushed down or whatever, and you'll have hot water all the way along there. It's still holding off the best it can. This one thin little stripe right here, but pressure, a lot of hot water going right off the coast here of Washington and Oregon. See this kink right here? Happening on this thing right here. All right, on that plate boundary, and there's no activity in there. So we need more activity, relieve pressure. Meanwhile, very quiet around that region. Here we are, Mount Rainier, showing it's not much. It's 1.2, but activity at that volcano, indication of pressure down below building. Another one here. That's flank of St. Helens. Here's another volcano, Government Camp, Oregon. And then as we come on down, nothing at our fulcrum point today. Take that off there, please. All right, nothing at our fulcrum point here, nothing really pushing inland either, except up here. We have had a new quake, a 2.3 at Rancho Tehama Reservoir. Okay, pressure can come in this way. So I guess that's maybe an inland quake from pressure coming straight in from that, maybe. Or there's a weak zone along the foothills here, fault line areas that run right along these foothills. More like it. What's the depth? Oh, yeah, that's definitely at the surface. That's more of a fault line type structure. Here we are, Central Valley. This is a new quake. This is an odd quake. This is your diverse quake right here, Central Valley, because there's no faults out here. There's no volcanic features. This is our diverse quake right here. Probably going to see SO2 emission coming out of that area there pretty soon. Pyramid Lake having quake activity. Okay, now as we come on down a little inland here, nothing much. The geysers here doing their job, microquaking out. Okay, all these little quakes relieve pressure, like a relief valve before it hits the Bay Area. Now as we go into the Bay Area, some activity today. 1.6 here, 1.3 there. Okay, up here, Diablo again. The devil. Explosions at a quarry. I thought maybe that was Oakland and we had an explosion. 1.4. Okay, normal activity going down that region is good. We need to keep it moving a little bit because quake activity relieves pressure. Now, here we are over at this region. Did I do all magnitude one day? Yeah, I did. Okay, all our current activity is kind of diminished right now. Our bigger quakes for the day were 2.3s, 2.9, 2. Okay, so almost microquakes. They're still regular magnitude 2s and 3s. So these are more than just aftershocks. Okay, this is a quake swarm. There's a little weak spot under that area now, and it's good. It's relieving a lot of pressure in the form of microquakes. I love this kind of activity right here because this diffuses a lot of pressure over a bunch of little quakes. Big fault running through here. You can see it. Bing. 0.4. 0.3. What's going on out here? Okay, Fearless Valley. Pretty quiet through this region, just microquaking out. That's good. Let's see what's going on over in New Mexico. Oklahoma, I'm sorry. Little thing down in Texas, not much. Very quiet now in Texas. Biggest magnitude. A 3.2 in Dibble. Debbie and Dibble. The Debbie Dibble Show. The Dibble Debbie Show. Dibble Debbie Dabble Dibble. And we also have this up here, 1.4 up in New Jersey. This little spot right here is still a weak spot, all right? Anytime we get pressure, this always has a little quake activity, just little stuff. But if we were ever to see a big quake or a big pressure thing, like if X flare comes our way and we absorb an X flare or something like that, it could... Oh, yeah, we got an X flare coming, huh? All right, there's your quake report, huh? Magnitude check real quick. Oh, very low in that area. That's good. We did that. Come over here to Hawaii real quick. A little magnitude check over here. 2.4s. Yeah, these aren't microquakes. These are a little quake swarm going on over here. 2.7, 2.4, 2. What's that one? 2.9. Okay, that's a 3. Oh, look at this. See this volcanic vent right here? A quake on the flank of it. Pressure underneath that. It's plugged up. Magma can't come out, so it's having little quake swarms right along this little area. Good. It's relieving pressure in the area, even offshore a little bit. But watch out for this down here. We're having little quake swarms down in this region now. We do sometimes. Okay, biggest magnitude was a 3.5. Not bad. All right, so a little bit of pressure being relieved at the hub of the rim, because the Pacific Rim, much like a bicycle rim, has a middle hub, and that would be the hub of the Pacific Rim. And when pressure goes around the outside of the plate boundaries, the cracks in the egg, well, there's a hole in the middle of the crack of the egg, and the pressure comes out in the middle too. So there's your quake report. Latest little quake right there, 5.0, energy being relieved. Right by the elites trying to hide. They're getting rumbled right now. Hide us. Look at this. That was the one we just covered. Okay, cool. All right, so let me take a couple of these down, and we will get to our volcano report, the weather report, and then we can do the spiritual report. So, go on, I don't need that one either. Well, let's get the volcano page open. Thank you for your patience there. If I don't close them out and I try to open this page, it'll just jam up the computer and the whole show. 30 in warning now. 30 and 34 is 64. If I had told you 7 years ago when all this stuff started happening to me that we would have 64 volcanoes, you would have said, Brian, you are crazy. Well, here we are, almost 7 years later, and we got 64 volcanoes, and I am still crazy about you. Now, senior internet, $10 a month. Suwanosejima, 6,000 feet. Explosive activity continues. Coronagraph in Indonesia on August 7th. Heavy rainfall occurred at the summit area of the volcano, triggering lahars. We're going to be seeing lahars because of rain. Rain triggering lahars. Okay. Ibu. Where are you? Flight level. It's not there. IBU. You be me. We be 8,000 at Luatobi. Semeru, East Java, 15,000. Usually that's its max. It's always doing that. White Island, New Zealand. Hey, you guys in New Zealand. 3,000-foot blast, probably while they're unloading their gear on the dock. They just rolled up in the airplane, and a big old blast comes out of White Island, New Zealand, 3,000 feet. Songhai, 21,000. Reventador, 14. And Sabancaya, 22. And that was just in the last few minutes. Let's go into today, which is now yesterday, because, well, time just flies at this channel. Look at all the red on that map. There's a lot of volcanoes going off. Sakurajima, 9,000 feet. Suwanosejima, 6,000. Ibu, last reported. No flight level still. Luatobi, 8. Explosive eruption continues at the volcanic institution. I should have got that video of Etna with three mushroom clouds, 3 plumes above Etna when the third vent opened up. So that volcano has 3 vents, like a 3-in-1. Now back to Dempo, newly on the list. Eruption reported. No elevation, though. Ducono, 7,000 feet. Santo Guido, no VA. Fuego, no VA. Songhai, 23. Reventador back on the list at Ecuador, 15,000. Sabancaya, 22. All right, no list tonight. We can move on. Yay, we're almost there. Let that load up. Okay, crazy, crazy weather. All right, all because we have more particulates and more moisture in the air. Your heat plumes over the oceans evaporate water into the air. The air is holding a much higher water percentage, a higher content. Okay, so there's more water in the sponge. Now, the particulates, water needs something to cling to, so it clings to a particulate. Well, now you have more sponge. You have a bigger sponge. So more water, bigger sponge, bigger storms, more moisture. Okay. Bigger storms, stronger storms, heavier downpours, flash flooding, larger hail, the whole gambit, larger lightning too. Okay. More violent storms. Let's just get going here. All right. And most of that other stuff is all subject to change. Okay. We're really only kind of concerned with our first 3 days because any activity off the sun can enhance stuff as well and change weather patterns. Right. So nothing really after 3 days is too much set in stone. Here we are. Oh, I need solar ham. I took that one down, didn't I? Well, let me pull up solar ham just real quick so we can do reminders here. August 9th, G2. August 10th, G2. All 3 days. Here we are, the nighttime of August 8th, our current conditions, and we are about to go G2 the morning of August 9th. Enhancement to this possibly. The noontime. Enhancement to that. Noon tomorrow, no joke. I would take precautions, tie stuff down, batten the hatches, clear out the culverts in your backyard, drain wherever in your neighborhood, evacuate. This is going to cause power outages, large hail, flash flooding, tornadoes. We might see possibility for long track maxi tornado. Okay. I hope that doesn't happen. I pray that doesn't happen. Look at this low. Do you see the center of the low? It's spinning right here. All right. It itself is just going to be like one big tornado almost. That's nuts right there. With enhancement, okay? These guys don't think are taking into account that the sun geomagnetic G2 geomagnetic energy enhances storms everywhere around the world, not just here, okay? Oh my God, my heart's racing. Help me, Lord. Now, there is the the convection of August 9th. Add enhancement to that. The nighttime of August 9th. Add enhancement to that. Add enhancement to this as well. Let's keep up with the enhancement through the morning of the 10th, noon, convection, nighttime. That's pretty cool. Hopefully nothing in this right there. Then as we go to the morning of the 11th, we still have G2 enhancement, convection, nighttime. Going into the morning of August 12th, noon, convection, nighttime. Enhancement to this possibly because, well, not August 12th, August 11th. So up until right about there is about all we can really trust because then we go into the 13th. That's morning, noon, convection, nighttime. 14, noon, convection, nighttime. 15, noon, convection, nighttime. 16, noon, convection, watch out down here, nighttime, morning of 17. Look at that up in New York, Pennsylvania area again. That's the morning of 17, noon, convection, nighttime. 18, noon. Even though this thing's off the coast, look at the moisture it donates. It just hands off a bunch of moisture to this little up here. That'd be convection 17, morning 18, noon, morning 18, noon. Wow. Convection, nighttime 19, noon, convection, nighttime 20, noon, convection, nighttime. Up here in Canada, that cooler air at nighttime. Morning of 21, noon, convection, nighttime. Again, up in Canada. Morning of 22, noon, convection, nighttime. 23, noon, convection, nighttime. 24, noon, convection, nighttime. All right. Starting right now, we still have severe weather right now. So as soon as we get any kind of geomagnetic impact enhancement, that'll be the morning of the 9th, noontime. That's here. 11 a.m. is Pacific. 11, 12, 1, 2 in the afternoon is the time frame that they're showing. 2 in the afternoon. That will be 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 in the morning. 8 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, and then 8 o'clock at night. So between here, the morning of the 9th, everybody, tomorrow, let's start right now. Here it comes. Headlines: New York slammed, power outage, multiple people flooding, houses being washed away, possibly. Warn those people, get out of there, prepare if you got to hunker down, do what you got to do, but that's going to be gnarly. And through the nighttime, and then out of there. Okay, after that, we're all good. Now, let's move on with our spiritual report. Let me pull up this because it reminds me of the roller coaster ride. Okay, so I guess I got to tell you about this vision that I had. One of the facilities I was in, they put you in a sauna and they sweat you, right? And well, I know some Native Americans, and I've been in a sweat box before, and I know how to meditate. So while I was in the sweat box or in their sauna, I'm having flashes and I'm having visions and stuff. I'm like, whoa, 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 what's going on? So I kind of concentrate on these things and focus a little bit, and then it finally exposes itself. It's a roller coaster called the Demon. Okay, and the Demon is like this new state-of-the-art roller coaster. It's super fast. It has these high-speed turns. It has these special new things that no other roller coaster has ever done before. And it's super, super popular across the nation. People are coming from all around the world to test ride the Demon. Okay. Now it's much like a amusement park, like Six Flags Magic Mountain, where it's roller coasters and then the other kiddie rides and stuff, all different kinds of rides around a park, right? And the center of the park has always been kind of empty, and that's where they put this grand roller coaster called the Demon. Okay. Now, during the process of building the Demon, some people went missing, and there were always some kind of curious stories that were in the background about the building of this roller coaster in the first place. So it always kind of had this weird hint to it. All right. Then we get to, let me just start opening up some pictures here. And the vision starts, I'm in the carousel up at the top of the roller coaster, where the maze is, right? Where the roller coaster pulls into the carriage, right? And people get out and people get back in. So I'm standing right there at the maze, and I'm looking at the people in the line, right? And they're fighting and they're scrapping and they're trying to get, cut in front of each other to be first in line to be on the Demon. And everybody wants the front seat. if you've ever been to a roller coaster, there's like 7 or 8 individual lines. One line is for the front seat, the next one's for the second seat, next is third, fourth, right? So everybody's really in line for the front seat because that's the best one, right? So they're really fighting and duking it out for the front seat. Now, as the roller coaster comes into the carriage, it comes flying in and the brakes stop, right? So as the coaster comes in, this cable drops down and decapitates all the riders. And then the bucket seats that they're sitting in drop down and the rest of their body falls out the bottom of the roller coaster down below onto the ground down under the roller coaster. And I'm like, what is going on here? I can't believe what I'm seeing. And this is real life. I mean, the vision is so crystal clear. You're there. And the people just saw the carriage come in. They just saw the riders get decapitated and the seats dump the bodies out. And yet they are still fighting and scrapping to get on the roller coaster. It's insanity. I'm like, what is this? What is going on? But then I look. The coaster takes off and it goes through the corkscrews and stuff. But this coaster is different. It goes through the corkscrews so hard. It goes through all these maneuvers so hard that it breaks your bones. It'll break your arm on this one left-hand corner and then break your back going upside down so hard. And the screams that are coming off the roller coaster are real screams of pain and horror. And those screams sound so exciting and authentic to the crowd down below that it charges them. They hear these real passionate screams, ones of real pain and real horror. And they're thinking, wow, I can't wait to ride this thing, right? It's this insanity. Then the coaster breaks your bones, it pulverizes your body, they're screaming in horror and pain, and then it comes in the station, decapitates the riders, dumps out, and a whole new wave of riders scraps and fights to get on this coaster. And I'm thinking, this is nuts. This is absolute insanity. Then I look and I see the line of people. There's a maze of people, right? At a roller coaster, they zigzag the maze back and forth, and there's a maze of people. And this maze, the end of the line kind of goes out into the park. And as I look at this line of people, there's nobody else in line for any of the other rides. They're all in line for the Demon. And I'm like, whoa, this is insanity. Nobody's riding any of the other roller coasters or rides or anything. They're all here they don't even know they're about to die on this thing. What? Then I look even further, deeper, further out. The line of people goes out into the parking lot, and out in the parking lot, people are crashing their cars into each other, having shootouts in the parking lot over parking spaces that are left. Okay, so there's pure riots and chaos going on out in the parking lot for just the parking to get to the line for the Demon. And I'm just going, this is nuts. This is absolute insanity. And as I look, the line of cars that comes from the parking lot there's a line of cars that goes from the parking lot out to the freeway off-ramp. And the freeway off-ramp is backed up with cars because they're all turning to come off to get to the roller coaster. And as I look down the freeway off-ramp, I notice the freeway back in the distance is backed up as far as the eye can see with cars all coming to the Demon. All coming to that one off ramp. And I look the other side of the highway. There is nobody going the other direction. It's an empty highway. There's nobody. Everybody is on the one side. They're all coming to the one off ramp to come to the park to ride the Demon. And this line of cars is huge. It's just huge. It's everybody. And it's just this huge wide line of cars, 8 lanes wide, going off into the distance of people waiting in line to get on the Demon. It's so disturbing. And I look down, and on the other side of the highway, the side that's not being used, there was an off-ramp that's under construction. And there's a big orange sign out there on the off-ramp that says, off-ramp closed. And I'm thinking, oh, if I could just get to the other side of that highway and get that sign and put it on the off-ramp, I could at least deter most of the freeway. I can't fix the park and what's going on already, but I can at least deter people on the freeway. And then I looked down at the gauntlet of sheer chaos and death that I would have to cross to get to the highway, to get across it, to get that sign. And that's when I wake up. That's when the dream ends, is I want to get over to that off-ramp closed sign so I can go post it and tell everybody the off-ramp's closed, the park's closed. You don't want to go. It's the gnarliest one, and it's the up and down roller coaster ride, just like that we're seeing right here. Just boom, 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 boom. But in that vision, I'm sure you guys could understand some of the metaphors of the pure insanity of people that even they know hey, it's a roller coaster ride. I'm gonna go do it anyways. Well, I heard it breaks all your bones and kills you. Well, I don't care. I'm gonna do it anyways because everybody else is doing it, right? The weirdest stuff. Okay, so we are on a roller coaster ride. Okay. The demon, the roller coaster, the demon is kind of real. It's the mainstream media. They take you up and down and all around. They get you all worked up and they're breaking you inside. It's nuts. The vision had so much symbology in it that it was just, it was like, well, everybody's riding the demon. And I'm over there at the off ramp trying to get across this huge crowd of killers and insane people to get a sign and put it on the off ramp saying the off ramp's closed. Crazy stuff. There was the story of the roller coaster. We got it out of the way, Lord. All right. Glad I told him. I'm still plagued with that vision too. I'm sorry I had to tell some of you guys. I hope those some of those mental images don't get stuck in your head. Okay, because that's about what we're gonna see here pretty soon, right? Is chaos unhinged if cooler heads don't prevail and people don't pull their head out of their butt. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. Thank you for enduring that story. I know it was kind of weird and boring, but not a dream. It was actually while I was awake in a sauna, like a vision that you would have in a sweat box. Okay. And pretty intense. I also had the vision of the car stuck on the train tracks, and I'm up on a hill looking down, and I see this car stalled on the train tracks with the train coming off in the distance, and I'm like, uh-oh, I better go down there and tell them there's a train coming. And they don't want to hear it. They're like, what? Nah, we're not on the tracks. I'm like, yeah, look outside the window. Your car is sitting on the tracks. They're like, oh, no, we're not. No, you're sitting on the tracks. Get out of the way. There's a train coming. Oh, sure there is. Uh-huh. And then the second time it's, oh, here's the train guy again. Oh, train coming. Uh-huh. Yeah, sure. There's a train coming. Yeah, we're sitting on the tracks. I know. Ha, ha, ha. And I'm like, no, really, you guys are sitting on the tracks. There is really a train coming. And this dream just gets nuts. And over and over and over again. Finally, I realized, hey, next time I have this, I am going to see what it is that they're watching on their phones, because there are 4 people sitting in a car on the tracks, and all 4 of them are looking at their phones, and they won't give me 5 minutes of their time. I'm trying to warn them that they're sitting on the tracks, right? And finally, I look down to see what it is. I have to know. What is it that's so important on your phone that you're willing to die to watch? And I finally get a glimpse of what they're watching on their phones. And they were watching YouTube videos of cars being hit by trains on the tracks. They were watching videos of their very demise, of the very same thing that was about to kill them. Very symbolic, very metaphor. I had years of therapy with my therapist on that one. She's like, well, what is it about their phones? And I said, you know what? That's an idea. Next time I have this vision, I'm going to look at their phone and see what it is that they're watching. And how ironic. They were watching cars getting demolished by trains. I was just like, how ironic. They're watching the very scenario they're sitting in, and they're denying they're sitting in that scenario. It's, whew. Okay, so stuff that I'm telling you from my past, but it's the metaphorical and the symbology of these events also play a part in this whole process too. Okay, how would you feel if you were at that roller coaster? And you saw that sign on the other side of the freeway? I mean, you really would want to do that. You want to risk your life and go through that sea of people to bring that one sign out. At least warn some people. Hey, at least not you can't get them all, but you could at least get most of the people that were still on the freeway, right? Okay, so all that said and done, I got some few reading for you here. And we're talking about the past, but do not dwell on the past. Okay? We're working on our issues. A lot of our issues are stuff that we did in the past that we regret, right? God, if I had just said this, if I had just done that, or it would have been all different. Well, it's not. It's the way it is now, and you have to deal with what you have now. So do not dwell on the past, and see that I am doing a new thing. So as you begin each day, rejoice that I am continually working newness into your life. Okay? Each day I'm working newness into your life. Don't let recent disappointments and failures define you or dampen your expectations. Okay? There are no more failures. There are no more mistakes. They are opportunities. Okay? So don't let recent disappointments and failures be disappointments and failures. Let them be opportunities that define you so they don't dampen your expectations. So don't let recent disappointment and failures define you or dampen your expectations. This is the time to make a fresh start. I am a God of unlimited creativity, so expect me to do some surprising things in the time that stretches out before you. Now, today and each day is a precious gift. Keyword precious. The present moment is where I meet with you, like this very present moment right here and now. Mm-hmm. In the present, I meet with you. And if you seek my face throughout each day that I have made, I've carefully prepared it for you with tender attention to every detail. And I want you to rejoice and be glad in it, because each day is a precious gift. And the present moment is where you meet with me. So, throughout the course of a day, seek my face and with tender attention to detail, and rejoice and be glad in it. Okay, there's all kinds of hidden treasures in your day, all kinds of hidden detail in your day that you're not recognizing yet. Well, a lot of you are recognizing a lot more of it, so you're doing really well. I should back up when I say that. So, search for the signs of my loving presence as you journey along the path of life, which is a bunch of days continual, right? That's a path. Each day has, little treasures and little things hidden in it. So search for the signs of my loving presence each day as you journey the path of life. Look for little pleasures that I have strewn alongside your pathway. And sometimes they're in surprising places, not where you would think. I surprise you. It's always where you would least expect it sometimes, is in surprising places. So thank me for each one. When you see one and you recognize me, if you thank me for each one, your thankfulness will keep you close to me and will help you find joy in your journey, because I am joy. And those 4 words can light up your life. I am your joy. Okay? Those 4 words, I am your joy. And since I am always with you, the joy of my presence is continually accessible to you. You can open up to my presence through your trust in me, your love for me, and try saying, Jesus, you are my joy, and my light will shine upon you and within you as you rejoice in me. So try saying, Jesus, you are my joy. When you do, my light will shine upon you. It will shine upon you and within you as you rejoice in me, your Savior. Ponder all I have done for you and all that I am to you and all that I do for you. This will lift you up above your circumstances. When you think what I have done for you and all that I am to you, that's what helps lift you out of your quagmire, your depression, your funk. Okay? You're here on my channel, you subscribe. It's like following on Facebook, you follow on YouTube. When you became my follower, I empowered you to rise above the conditions in your life. I filled you with my spirit. And this holy helper has limitless power. I promise that I would come back and take you to be with me in heaven, that you may be where I am forever. And whenever your world is looking dark, brighten your perspective by focusing on me. Relax in my presence and hear me saying, beloved, I am your joy. I am real joy, real thing. All comes from that heart right there. Okay, what else we got, Lord? Goes backward, and then up. Okay, yeah. You see that image right there? You guys can take a deep breath and be still and know that I am God. Most Christians are familiar with this command, but not so many take it seriously. Yet for those who do, blessings flow like streams of living water, don't they? Yet for those who do, blessings flow like streams of living water. Be still and know I am God. Those who do, those blessings flow like streams of living water, don't they? Living water, as in the flesh, walking around, living. As these believers sit in stillness, focusing on me and my word, their perception of me expands and their troubles shrink. Oh boy, we're getting to the good stuff. Those of you out there that believe me, sit in stillness. Those of you out there that believe me, focus on me and my word, and their perception of me expands, and their troubles actually shrink in importance. They shrink, shrivel away in importance, and pretty soon they're not even troubles, because remember, troubles are adversity to be overcome, so there's no such thing as troubles. There's no such thing as mistakes. There are opportunities. See, I've changed everything. It was always that way. You just had a wrong way of perceiving things because the world taught you. The world taught you. Now, for those believers that sit in stillness, I want you to share in these blessings. Take time and take more time with me while you rest in my presence. I untangle your thoughts and help you view things more biblically. Remember, my word is a lamp to guide your feet. Okay, it's to bring joy, it's to bring hope, it's to bring peace and stillness. My word is a lamp that guides your feet, and it's a light for your path. So biblical thinking illuminates the path before you so you can find your way. Pretty simple stuff, but really hard to do. Again, biblical thinking illuminates the path. Aha! It's your biblical thinking that illuminates the path before you. So if you're thinking biblically, your path will be illuminated so you can find your way, huh? It's crucial to know not only that I am God, but that I made you and you are mine. Do you hear me? You are mine. You can breathe easy knowing that. It's crucial to know not only that I am God, but that I made you and you are mine. You are a sheep of my pasture. Sheep have a very limited understanding of what their shepherd is doing for them, but they follow him anyway. Similarly, as my sheep, your job is to trust me and follow wherever I lead. Okay? I don't go proclaiming to be a leader. I am a man who does what he does, and if you like what I do, you follow me. I am a leader by default. Any leader, a real leader is a leader by default because people follow him. That's what makes him a leader. You didn't vote for him and do what he says because he's got this hand of power over. No. A leader is somebody who's being followed. So, as my follower, you guys are sheep of my pasture. You can trust in me and find joy in me. And when you find joy in me, I am your strength. Okay, so you're finding joy that overcomes your circumstances. When you find joy in me, for I am your strength, okay? Now you have strength because you can smile at the evil. You know there's a bigger game going on and that they're in trouble, huh? Teacher's watching through the window. Remember that story about the teacher let the class go wild while he watched through the window? But you get to find joy in me, and then I become your strength. And it's vital to keep your joy alive, especially when you're in the throes of adversity. Okay, that's usually when we get mad. So it's vital to keep your joy alive when you're mad. Huh? I know. Sounds simple, but it's hard to do. Okay, so it's vital to try to keep your joy alive. It's vital to just keep your joy alive. Don't try, do it. Keep your joy alive, especially when you're in the throes of adversity, because whenever you're struggling with difficulties, you need to guard your thoughts and spoken words carefully. If you focus too much on all the things that are wrong, you will become increasingly discouraged and your strength will be sapped. When you become increasingly discouraged, you lose strength, right? So if you focus too much on all the things that are wrong, like the mainstream media got you, right? They don't want you to know that there's something going right. There's one thing that's going right, and it's only one thing that counts, too. So they don't want you knowing that, and they like you to be all wound up and discouraged, okay? So if you focus too much on all the things that are wrong, you will become increasingly discouraged, and your strength is sapped. But then you got to snap out of it. You pull your head out of your butt and you realize what is happening. And you stop this hurtful process by turning to me and asking me to help you with your struggles. Yes. It's hard to be joyful when you're mad. So stop. Realize it's happening. It's a hurtful process. Even though you're gritting your teeth, try asking me to help you, because I will. I will help you with all your struggles. Okay. One last thing here. Remember that your problems are temporary, but I am eternal. Okay, your problems here on this planet and what's going on this planet are temporary. You have something that's eternal. Me. Okay? Remember, your problems are temporary, but I am eternal, and so is your relationship with me. Your relationship with me is eternal now, too. You're stuck with me. All right. Now, as you start to find joy, as you find joy in me, delighting in my unfailing love for you, your strength will increase. So when you find joy and you're delighting in me, that increases your strength, right? You see this face, you see the crown, you realize this happened on Easter, how important it is that it's me, that's my face in the clouds, and you're caught up with me in the clouds. I wish I could come over to your house and knock on the door and sit down next to you on the couch, but I'm kind of disabled right now and I can't. But we can meet in the air. And that's what we've done. We meet in the air every night on YouTube, don't we? Because you're caught up with me in the clouds. You're raptured. You're complete. Remember, your problems are temporary. I am eternal. Your relationship with me is too. Find joy in delighting in that unfailing love for you, and that will increase your strength. This is the joy of the Lord, which is yours now for all time and throughout eternity. It's yours now. You got it. You got the joy of the Lord now. Okay, that overcomes all your circumstances, because what they show you on the news, most of it's false, fake, and designed to scare you. This is real. This is 1,000% more real than your reality. You go outside and start watching your clouds. If you looked up from your cell phone, that's why they got cell phones, by the way, so you don't look up. You're always looking down at your screen. Maybe one of these days I'll come visit your town and we'll go for a walk, and you can look at the clouds around me as we walk together. You'll see all this kind of stuff happening. You'll be looking at me, looking at the cloud, looking back at me going, this stuff really does happen over your head, doesn't it? Yeah. So we have new images too. The Phoenix. Phoenix Rising was captured, was it last night? Shit. What was last night? All right, there's the head right there. Let me pull this one up real quick here. Oh, maybe not. It was better the way it was. You have to come over here and let's just try this real quick. I'll do some darkening. And get the light out of the way. Kind of hard to see here. We had to zoom in. That would be the head with the little beak, wing here, and a wing going out there. I should try to get the better pictures. I'll try to post some different ones, but here's the head of it right here, the flaming head with the eye, the beak, flames coming off the top of the head. It was in sunset. And there's the head right there, and the wings spread out. They were all glowing red and orange. Thankfully, the lighting filters and brightness on the new technology phones is totally worthless. So when you're trying to capture a sunset with, beautiful colors in it, it's, yeah. You hit filters, you can become a bunny rabbit. You hit filters, you could be a unicorn. But I can't hit filters and get a sunset filter. The brightness bar is like so small that you get maybe 2 clicks down of brightness, and it only holds it for a split second. You can only take one picture or whatever. So, but if you come over here and look at this image, I'll try to post some better ones. It was very clear. The wings went out this way. They were all glowing red with like flaming clouds behind them. And then the head right here with flaming. Here, let's go right there. The eyes, crazed eyes, and the beak. And then these flames coming off of its head. I'll try to post some of the other pictures I got of it too, but just doesn't do it justice. Anyways, somebody was mentioning the Phoenix rising, and I'm like, yeah, they noticed it too. It happened over my house, but if I can get some better images, yeah, just doesn't do it justice. Anyways, these ones you can see. Real event. It's my face. And this one back here was my face too, with a crown above it and coming out of Jesus' heart. Well, that's because, well, of who I am. Right there. And with an ad. Come on, ad, bring it on. That was a terrible ad. All right. We're just going to leave that image right there so you can see that heart. Okay. That's a heart of love. All right. Maybe a lot of adversity in your life or whatever, but it only builds character. And that's what we're doing here. We're building character on this planet. It's a test of your character, a test of faith. Okay. And when you pray for strength, you get adversity, and then you overcome it. What happens when you overcome adversity? You have strength, right? So your prayer was answered. It was just answered in a way that you didn't expect. All right. So everything coming from there, from the heart of your Savior, wearing sunglasses, I guess. Don't ask me why, but there's that image. And then tell you all I love you and I miss you. And until my next show, I will be back. I am already back, as you can see here. Okay. And until my next show, I'll see you soon. Love you all. Bye. I'll be back.